We're going to be talking on the Nigerian house project. So I've got with me Benjamin Edokolo, and I myself, I'm Temitope Adeboale, the NSV secretary. So we are going to be giving an overview of the Nigerian house project. We are going to talk about, like the purpose, the aims, the goals, why we've got the project, and then we are going to talk about the draft plan, plans for like consultation and everything. So I'll throw it open to Ben.
Thank you. And for those of you that don't know me, I am part of the planning committee for this event, and I'm grateful to Madam President for giving the opportunity to talk about this great initiative. Yeah, the screen's small. So first of all, before we go into the Nigerian house concept, of which for most of you already know what the Nigerian house is all about, but we thought it's useful to provide some background information into what it is we're trying to achieve and what we are as Nigerians. Like you can see here, we have a huge cultural heritage with diverse multicultural group that it will be very important for us to continue to collaborate and work together as one to build a system or legacy that our children and grandchildren and children can benefit from. In terms of the Nigerian house, it's got a very long history. Oh, okay, yeah, better. Thanks. It's got a very long history, and for most of you, you've been part of that process. Based on the information I was provided, I think it dates back to the early 90s in terms of having this concept of having a Nigerian house that could serve as a center for us to build a community whereby we can work together as one and promote our culture. And before getting to this point to talk about the Nigerian house in this event, there was an information session organized in August just to provide some background information as to what the Nigerian house was about, how it all started, and where we are at today. And I think that event was well attended, and there was some useful feedback that we've taken into consideration in providing this very high-level presentation. When I say high-level, it's not a detailed presentation of what the Nigerian house is. It's just an overview, like scratching the surface of what we're trying to achieve. I don't know if you want to say anything in relation to the event. Next, please. So the aim is for us to reintroduce this concept and work towards delivering this project finally. This slide talks about the vision, the purpose, and goals of the Nigerian house. The vision, like we've highlighted in the introduction, is to create an infrastructure that would enable Nigerians in Victoria to connect, grow, and thrive in providing programs that will benefit our children, our community, our youths, and most importantly, seniors and families. And I think it was really good to have that discussion panel that was focused heavily on youth, because the overall aim of this society is to try as much as possible to have some youth integration into the community to increase participation. The goal is, sorry, next please. You want to talk about this goal? Yeah, okay. Talk about it.
Yeah, so the goal of the Nigerian house is to provide an avenue whereby like the kids, everybody, members of the community, they feel welcome. We can have, like events. For example, the Nigerian community has been hosting the annual Nigerian Day for a long time. And every single time we do that, we have to go, renting halls. We have lots of birthday celebrations, lots of wedding celebrations that occur within the community. In Nigerian house, we provide a place that is dedicated for such events. we know that, we can easily lock in a venue. We can easily lock in that venue as a place whereby we have our celebration every year. Because currently, if we are considering hosting an event at a local council for a certain year, if we don't book in early enough, we might lose out on that. But having a Nigerian house could be a central place whereby, irrespective of the time, we know that we are going to have a place. The members of the community, the sub associations, for example, the Igbo associations, the Yoruba associations, the Edo associations, even individual private parties can host their events at this venue. So that's some of the aims. The other thing also is that it can serve as a support system. So for example, if we have people within the community potentially maybe going through rough periods whereby they might need, maybe temporary accommodation, or even a place whereby you can come to come talk to somebody within the association, maybe a social worker over there that might be able to refer you to, support services that you'll be able to access. This venue can be a place like that. And it can also serve as a business hub. For example, within the whole of Victoria, within the whole of Melbourne, we can have like Nigerian businesses residing within this building. We can have lots of, Nigeria restaurants. You can have, like maybe Nigeria clothes wear. For example, there are lots of people that, if you don't travel back home, or if you don't know somebody that can help you send, clothes over, it might be tricky, it might be difficult for you to access some of these clothes. But if we have a venue like this, we can have businesses that are situated in there that operate such, that can offer such services. So those are some of the high-level goals and benefits that we've got for the Nigerian house. Yeah.
And in addition, it's not just all about parties, foods, drink, music. Some of the initiatives would include like an education programs whereby we can have lectures for all age groups, opportunity to network, and most importantly, an opportunity for us to build our community in a very positive and progressive way. For the next slide, it's all about the what, the when, and the where. I know some of this will sound as music to some of your ears because this has been a long time coming and not much has been achieved. But with this current administration, there is a strong desire to move from planning through to implementation, which would be the project delivery. And in trying to achieve that, it will require a lot of effort and commitment, not just from the planning committee or the executives, but for everyone that is involved in building a strong Nigerian community. You don't have to be a member of NSV to support the initiative, but the overall aim is for all Nigerians to be part of the NSV community. And in saying that, there will be some great effort in having consistent planning. Within our community, we have different expertise. This is an opportunity for us to dive into the different expert groups to come up with creative ideas and initiatives that would help the planning committee or whoever is delegated or assigned to deliver this project to have some group of people to work with that would help provide some really robust expertise. Yes, we are still at the infancy stage. Land, architectural design, those are important aspects in building a Nigerian house, which we'll talk about in the subsequent slides. And most importantly, money. All of this talk is to try and get your interest to help support this great initiative that would set a very good legacy, not just for us, but our generations. And most importantly, we're already in Victoria, and we are here to stay. So there is a great opportunity for us here to build a community that would help us consolidate our presence here in Victoria and build a very good future for our children to continue to be, for our children to continue to understand what it means to be a Nigerian, our resilience, our cultural values, and our support system. The when, we have 5 years here, but I think it's working towards a 3 years timeline. All of that would be in the detailed plan. And most importantly, the where. That question has not been answered. It has to be somewhere, and there has to be a high-level consultation amongst the community. That is not a decision that has been taken at this moment, but it is hoped that with positive consultation, we should be able to answer some questions around where this Nigerian house would be located that is more central and representative of our various locations in Victoria. It's not focused on Melbourne, but to cater for all Nigerians in Victoria.
I'll quickly talk a bit more on that also. Because, for example, when we talk about the where, you know, like by default, they might be thinking that maybe it should be around where there are a lot of Nigerians, you know, where we have the highest density of Nigerians. But we also have to consider the business case also, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a building, it's going to be a facility that, you know, like that's got the economic side of things too. Are we gonna be able to, you know, attract enough businesses, you know, individuals that want to have their celebrations that might be non-Nigerians? So at the end of the day, while it is for Nigerians, but the people that we cater for, they might be diverse. So if we have people from, for example, say the Ghanaian community that wants to use it all, if we have people from the Zimbabwean community, people from the general Australian community that might want to use it all. So those are things that we have to put into consideration in trying to determine where the venue, where the location should be. Yeah. Do you want to talk next?
Then you do. Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, next steps. So, what are our next steps? For most of us, we already know where we are at with the Nigerian house. It's still at infancy stage, a concept. The most important thing is to move it from concept stage to implementation. And one of my favorite saying is, Rome was not built in a day. It took time. And I think we've had a long enough time to think about what a Nigerian house should look like. There is a great opportunity for us to work towards delivering this spectacular project that would benefit everyone, not just in this hall, but the Nigerian community. The plan at this stage is to set up a committee or establish a committee that would work with the executive to try and come up with a plan to deliver this project within 3 years. And part of that is for you as a group of people to provide your feedback of what you think the vision of a Nigerian house should be. This is us coming to tell you what a vision is of a Nigerian house. But as individuals, we all have different thoughts, and it will be good to get your feedback as to what you think a Nigerian house would be. And that information, I believe, will be very useful for the planning committee to take into consideration when they are delivering the implementation plan for the project. In addition to that, part of the plan, I believe, would involve community consultations. Nothing would be put to you without getting your input. So there will be several community consultations through from planning to design to implementation. Fundraising is also going to be an important aspect in trying to achieve this project. Initially, it was thought that this could be an opportunity to do a fundraising, but we thought it would be useful to provide some background information to you as to where the current situation is with the Nigerian house, get your interest up again, provide you an opportunity to provide feedback as to what you think the vision of a Nigerian house should be, and what you think the design of a Nigerian house should be, and what you think the benefits and goals for the Nigerian house to achieve. In saying that, there will be subsequent invitations as to funding events for this initiative. And also, most importantly, there is government funding available, but there are certain requirements that need to be met. And most of that information will be provided in due course as to what are the requirements for the funding. Before I hand over to talk about the current draft plan, I think it's important to note also that as Nigerians, we are very resilient people. We are strong and determined. And if we set out our minds to achieve this initiative, I don't think there is any limit as to what we can achieve with this project. It's about having that commitment and dedication to achieve this great initiative. Like for myself, I think I've been through a different process that is likely to be different for my child. And if I have a place where my child can go and learn about our culture or heritage, I think that is a good thing. And it's an initiative that should be supported because it's a positive initiative that will benefit us all in the community.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, so the final slide here, we're just going to talk about the high-level draft plan that we've got going forward. So as my partner, my colleague rightly said, Ben, our plan is to have a number of community consultation. So we want to hear from the community, you know, what does a Nigerian house look like for you? What would you want, you know, for example, in terms of even location, in terms of function, in terms of, you know, services that it can offer? We want to hear that from you. What size should it be? You know, what type of activities should be able to be done at this facility? Would want to hear that from you. Another thing also, another important aspect that we would want to discuss with the community will be the structure of ownership. Because NSV is a non-for-profit organization, so where does that come in? What type of structure would need to be in place for us to have a business that might be producing profit? So those are type of things that we want to discuss with you in consultation, and also in consultation with experts within the field. So we'll have consultation with the experts to discuss the feasibility of the idea, and then we'll revise whatever idea we've got. We'll bring it back to the house for comments before we take it back again and reiterate it. Then we'll set up a panel to draft out the plan for this Nigerian house. So this will also include the business side of it also. So not just how to achieve it, but also what is the business case? How will this go on for, you know, the next 10, 20, 50 years? You know, how will this Nigerian house operate? Then we'll present this plan back to the community. We'll discuss ownership structure. So it could be a combination of a couple of options there. So in there I've got, like, you know, fully community member owned. We've talked about part community, part investments. We've talked about full investments. And then potentially, it might be possible to actually partner with a local council within Victoria. So at this stage, all these are questions that we don't have answers to, but that is why we are talking about consultation with the community. We are talking about consultations with the experts. Then the phase 2 also, by the time we've gone through the initial phase 1, which is just the initial planning, then we move on to signing of paperwork. We look for, you know, the most appropriate place that we want to purchase, you know, that we can purchase a land for such a vision. And then we move on to during that time, we can move on also to the design and build. And after that, then we can commence the development of the Nigerian house. So again, at this stage, all these are high-level plans, but our intention is to engage in a number of community consultations with the community to try and get the ideas, to talk to experts. You know, after a couple of back and forth, we are hoping that within the next 3 to 5 years, there will be a project on ground. And with this plan also, we hope that it will be something that, you know, because we know that there is a saying about, you know, a different person might be the one to sow the seed, another generation might be the one to benefit from the shade or the fruits that come from that tree. So we know that, you know, this is not something that can be done in the, you know, for example, in the current tenure of the current executives, but we want to have a plan in place so that whoever is coming up after us are able to have a plan that they can work with going into the future, so that we know that even if it is in the next 3 years, even if it is in the next 5 years, we will have a product, we will have something that we can say, yes, this is what we've achieved. But at this stage, our intention is to work on, like, the plan that we'll be able to hand over to everybody. So that's the summary. I don't know if you've got anything else, Ben?
Yeah, I know we've been up here for a few minutes. I don't know if we've been convincing enough for you to shake your pocket and bring out some dollars, because it's really important for us to get that support from this group.
Yes, sir.
And as a community, that's why I love our slogan. We are stronger together.
Yes.
And we shall see. Oh, sorry, one more important point is, one of the feedback received during the information session held in August was for the current president to be a standing member of the planning committee to ensure continuity. And I think the president had agreed during that information session to be a member of that community. So irrespective of what happens at the end of the tenure of the president, you're likely to have Dr. Remi Yusuf as a member of the planning committee as well.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.